no!
What?
Yeah, no, you did.
Try guys and laugh.
Yay!
Books. More book review. I'm so behind on the book reviews, I really gotta knock these out. We're going to be talking about... my battery's about to die. Well, let's just change it first, and then we'll start over. Okay. Battery. Anyway, I'm wicked behind on book reviews. I'm still reviewing the ones from last year. Last year being 2025. I have 4 more to do from 2025. This year, I said I was just going to read and not review any of the books. So I was going to read things specifically I don't want to review, like things in a series. I think I said this before in the Huck Finn video. But I've been reading books in series and then like Romeo and Juliet, like things I'm not going to review. But actually, I am now reading a book that I will review. And I'm almost done with it. So I'm going to get some of these out of the way. Right now, we're talking about The Fault in Our Stars. The Fault in Our Stars, I feel like there's nothing else for me to say about it, because a lot of things have been said already. And this is when I started to like not write down my reviews. So this is all I have for notes, because I wanted to just go off the top and not read a script. So this time I actually just took notes on what I want to talk about. Let's see, I have some bullet points. Millennial writing, how it can be good, and it's not just a cringe factor, but it is noticeable. Hazel and Augustus. Is it Augustus or August? I think it's Augustus, and that auto-corrected. Being great characters. The made-up chemo medication. This is a genuinely feel-good book. Them being teenagers, thinking the book would end with August dying. I think it's Augustus. Yeah, Augustus Waters. And the movie versus the book. But I watched the movie in high school, and I have not seen it since. But I'm glad I watched it. Hold on, I'm gonna let my cat out because she's pissing me off. Nope, you're not coming down here to hang out. Yep, you're going out. Anyway. The only paragraph I really have written, it says, writing this a while after reading the book. Having the book in my hands might make it easier to talk about. I'm not sure what to say about this that hasn't already been said. This book has been huge since it came out. The movie was huge too. I think most people know the story already. A girl meets a boy at a Kids with Cancer support group. They have a very exciting romance. Boy dies and girl is forced to move on. Spoilers! Here's the thing about spoilers. I don't care about spoilers, and I don't care if you care about spoilers. When did this come out? Come on, where's the copyright? Where the hell is the goddamn copyright? 2012. 2012 is 14 years ago, which is crazy. The kids born when this came out are freshmen in high school now. That's wild. So if you didn't know the story, that's the story. If you're upset, go tell someone. So here's the thing. I liked this. Might as well go over the points that I was just talking about. It doesn't even make... This order sucks. Yeah, I think I should just do it off the top because this order sucks. I'm starting... The first note was about the millennial writing, but I feel like that should come at the end. As a story, I think it's pretty good. Yeah, bestseller, indie bestseller, USA Today bestseller. You follow Hazel Grace, teenage girl with persistent cancer. I forget what kind, but it's so bad. Yeah, she's 17, depressed, with cancer. I forget what kind of cancer. I don't know if it's specifically lung cancer, but her lungs fill up with fluid all the time. She wears oxygen all the time. She wears either CPAP or BiPAP to bed. That's how bad it is. She goes to this support group for kids with cancer, and there's a kid there who has either brain or eyeball cancer, and he brings a friend named Augustus, and Augustus catches Hazel's eye. She catches his eye. Eventually they talk. There's the whole bit with the cigarette about how it's a metaphor, and you put the thing that kills you inside your mouth, but you don't light it. You don't give it the power to kill you. That whole thing. And basically they go on a very romantic adventure. And it is pretty sweet. honestly. Augustus is cool. I remember thinking he was cool when I saw the movie, and then reading the book, I was like, bro, this kid is smooth with it. He really is. It is very much a teenage romance. Like, they yearn for each other constantly. Augustus uses his Make-A-Wish to take her to Amsterdam, Denmark. They go to the Anne Frank house, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Amsterdam, right here. Yep. They get like a 5-star dinner, and they frick. And that's as far as the romance goes, because Augustus Waters ends up passing away, and believe it or not, the book doesn't end there. Augustus dies slowly. He ends up dying very slowly in his home. His friend who introduced him to the story in the first place ended up getting his eyeballs removed, so he's blind now. And Hazel Grace just keeps going on living. She calls the moment, what is it? The last good day conversation. That was the last good day. Whatever, they have a good day, and it's the last good day, because after that he starts to decline, and then he passes away, and then the story does keep going for a little bit, which I thought was interesting. Another thing of note, there's this medication that Hazel Grace takes, and John Green just totally made it up, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, I didn't think much about it. Like, in the story, it's literally just a medication that she takes, and then in the... Is it a Q&A? There's a part where John Green has some words at the end, and he's like, oh, I made that up. I was like, yeah. Anyway, one of the things about this, probably because it's John Green, but I feel like this is a good example of millennial writing, not in a bad way, though. I think it's like how Hollow Kingdom had the millennial Chungus, like, minion writing. I think this is millennial, but not in a bad way. And it's only sometimes. Like, it's not the whole thing, but it's in conversations, like dialogue, and it's usually Hazel who talks like this. I hope I can just find an example. Like, there's a part where it's like, it's just the over-explaining during jokes and like really long punchlines. I wish I could find an example. I didn't write any down. You're just gonna have to trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. It's millennial, but it's not bad. Even though he could be a Gen X, honestly. It's absolutely during conversations, and it's with Augustus, and it's like blah 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 blah. Like, how do you do? And it's like, well, if you mean by how do you do, you mean how am I doing something, and I would be doing this, but in the other form of your question, I would be doing that. It's like one of those things. It's like a actually type of thing. But it's really not that bad. What else is pretty cool? There's this book she reads over and over again. It's like, she said it's like the best book about having cancer or something. And the author, it's like the only book he ever wrote. And then no. They went to Amsterdam to meet the author, and the author was an asshole, and it was like a big disappointment, but they had fun anyway, and they fricked. Hold on, I'm reading it. I thought I had an example, but like the better examples I have are long. An Imperial... Oh, what is the book? An Imperial... Oh, whatever. She gets Augustus to read it, and he's into it. An Imperial Affliction. Van Houten. This is a terrible review. It is a genuinely feel-good book, because it's fun. It's so fun, and like... definitely fun to read, probably, if you are a teenager. It's like one of those things, like, when you are a teenager, it's probably so relatable. The feelings, and the yearning, and the just doing anything for this person. As an adult, it's not that you lose that, but like, you kind of get more realistic about it, where it's like the yearning, where it's like you can yearn for someone, but you kind of understand, like, unless something tragic happens, like, you will see them again, you know? But like, as a teenager, you're like, oh, what if they're gonna go to sleep tonight and die, and I'll never see them again, I have to see them right now. And if you've experienced that in your life, which I hope you have, then I think you'll be transported back to that feeling with this. Like, this made me feel like a teenager again. And I've been in love as a teenager, and then I was like, dude, I am these characters right now. All the characters are great, except for the author of An Imperial Affliction, who is an ass. Oh yeah, doesn't Gus have one leg? I think Gus has one leg. Oh, that's right. His cancer, they had to remove his leg, and then he was in remission for a while, but then it came back. And he ended up doing this thing where he tried to leave the house. Where he was basically dying at home, and he tried to leave the house and do something on his own, and it went horribly wrong. It didn't make me cry, but when he died, I was sad. I was sad and surprised that it kept going, which makes sense, because life does keep going after someone dies. So I'm kind of glad he wrote it that way. It's so, Augustus, he's such a good character. I read it last year. I was 28 when I read this, and I was still like, bro, I want to be this cool. I want to be as cool as he is. He's so smooth, and he just knows what to say. And then versus the book, I did see the book first, so I had those actors in my head when I was reading it. So, like, I don't know if that taints the book or what, because I know, like, they have the descriptions, and then you just kind of imagine what the person looks like, but Hazel Grace in my head was whoever that actress is. I don't know off the top of my head, but I know she's in Divergent. And then Augustus Waters was whoever that actor is, and I don't remember if he's in anything else that I know of, but like, that's just who they were. All the other kids I kind of filled in, and actually for some reason the kid with, like, Augustus's friend from the Kids with Cancer support group, the one who loses his eyes, I don't know why, but in my head I kept imagining the streamer Neon. I don't even think he's described that way, but the streamer Neon is like who I was imagining. In the movie, from what I remember, that's pretty good. Like, the important scenes are there. I think they do go to the Anne Frank house, because there's a part where she's struggling to breathe. Like, all these stairs, and it's cramped, and she's struggling to breathe, and she's hauling her oxygen tank up, and she can feel the eyes of the people just being like, oh, let's go, but also she's clearly disabled, so give her a second, and she's struggling with that. And Augustus only has one leg, so he can't really help, even though he tries to get, like, up to the attic. They do go to the Anne Frank house. So, like, that's matching it. The losing virginity part, the cigarette part, the part where he goes out on his own. All that stuff is still there. I think it holds up. And I'm glad I finally read it, because this is, like, an iconic book. The way I've been trying to read, horror is my genre. And then if I had to do a secondary genre, I guess it would be young adult. But I've been getting out of that and looking for a different genre. And I've been leaning towards medicine, like medical stories / just like journals and research books. The way I shop for books is look for a book title that I recognize, or B, search the horror section, because there are so many books that you just hear about through osmosis and through your life, and I think they're worth reading. Like, that's how I ended up reading Huck Finn. That's why I read this. That is why I feel like I should read the Twilight Saga, because is it for me? No, but it was so iconic in pop culture. That's why I read 50 Shades of Grey, is because when it came out, I was still in high school, but when it came out, it was huge, and I was really like, why is this so popular? That's when I was getting back into reading, but I was like, why is this so popular? So that was the same with this. Like, I knew it was popular, so it's good. Like, it's got to be good. I watched the movie and I liked it. I was like, all right, here it is. It's time to read it. It's time to understand why people were in love with this when it came out. And I get it. And now I need to read Looking for Alaska. What is it? Looking for Alaska, An Abundance of Catherines. And I did read Paper Towns already, and I did not like it. But I read that in high school, so I'm going to have to revisit that. Anyway, did I hit all my points? This isn't very good. I wish I could come up with more examples for the millennial writing. I think it's easy to talk about when it's bad, like in Hollow Kingdom, where it's like Chungus, like, haha, Cheetos, Cheetos, bird like Cheetos.
Eating Cheetos.
You know, it's like minion humor, where it's like, don't talk to me till I've had my coffee. That shit. I think this is fine because they're teenagers, and it's almost ironic how they're doing it, because even though Augustus and Hazel talk they're very mature teenagers, and then sometimes they'll do the like that meme where it's like, actually.
That is not correct. Because according to the encyclopedia...
Bullshit. But it's like, I think it's kind of a joke, or at least I took it as them being witty or sarcastic. Maybe I took it the wrong way, but I'm glad I took it that way instead of the cringe way. And then I have other opinions about millennial writing, and I'm not going to talk about them because that can be for something else. But I got to move on to the next one, because I think the next one I'm also going to have a lot to talk about. Star rating. Here's the thing about the star ratings. 1 through 5 isn't enough. That's like a vague, is it good or is it bad? It's like a little bit more than is it good or is it bad, and then like 1 out of 10 obviously is more specific. So that's why I do both. I'm reserving the 1s for something that I think is fucking terrible. Like Hollow Kingdom, I think was terrible. It had good things, but overall I think was awful. I don't remember what I rated that. And I'm reserving the 5 stars for a book that I think is perfect. Is this book perfect? No. Is it damn near perfect? Yeah. This is... And also, I don't think I can animate a half star, so that's my thing too. So I'm going to give it a 4-star rating. 4 stars. And then out of 10, I'm going to go 8 out of 10. I think this book fucking rocks. And here's the thing. It is not the best book I read last year. I think a 5-star book is coming up. I really do. It is also the second to last book that I read last year, but a 5-star book is coming up. I'll tell you that right now. This is 4 stars, 8 out of 10. Fault in Our Stars. It's worth the read. Get in your feels. Get back into your teenage mindset. Relive those good old days where love was new and exciting, and you'd do anything for each other. Not that it's not like that now, but as an adult, those things get dull as you experience them. This is like a first love at first sight teenage romance, and it's good. It's not annoying like romances and like Percy Jackson and stuff where it's like a little silly. I don't think it's silly. Read it. Fucking read it.